Hi, welcome to the Grit and Grime Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, as always, David Sagoe, and with me are my three wholesome guests, Thomas Arnal.
Hey.
The longest Tom has been called wholesome for.
Michael Downey.
All right.
And Jose Garcia Vidal.
Hi, how are you?
We're fine. How are you, the listener?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask Jose.
Hope you're okay. Hope you're okay.
Paul.
I'm
We don't
okay.
care how you are, Jose.
I am okay.
Just the listeners.
If you're
Nobody ever
shout out,
asks how I am.
shout out to our listeners from Southampton.
Can you tell I've had podcast training lately? They said talk directly to the listener, right?
Yeah.
You say hi guys, hi people,
Ignore
persons.
your co-hosts.
and their well-being.
And their feelings.
That's what Dave does every week, right? Ignores us and just talks about the Lakers.
Jesus.
What do you think, listeners?
Dave, say hi to Richard from Glasgow. Say hi. Ask how Richard from Glasgow is doing.
Hi. Well, Richard from Glasgow wrote in and said, when are you guys going to do another stock exchange podcast? It was my favorite podcast of last season. You said you'd be doing it this year, and we're already damn near a month into the season, and you haven't done one. So guess what, Richard from Glasgow?
Guess what, dick?
Hey, whoa.
Whoa. Look at that.
Whoa.
Look at that. Straight up, like South versus North mentality. Like, oh, I'm from Southampton. Look, I don't like this. Scots. All right.
Hello, Dick from Glass.
All right, let's find the rails. We're gonna do another stock exchange podcast.
Hey!
And the crowd goes wild.
Especially Richard from Glasgow.
So we are going to pick the teams and players. You can even pick coaches that you are going to put your stock into and invest into, at least until we do the next stock exchange episode. So we've each picked a number of stocks we'd like to invest in. I don't know if anyone's going to short it. We're going to see how frisky everyone's feeling with their money, which is not real, but hey, put it where your mouth is. Not great for an audio podcast. And shall I start us off? Coming out the gates, I'm going to lead with the Milwaukee Bucks. So you're thinking, they're coming off a championship, Dave. Why would you lead with the Milwaukee Bucks? I'll tell you why. It's not because they're playing the Lakers this week and Thursday, and are definitely going to get a bump. That's number one Lakers reference. Take a drink at home. It's because when you look at the standings, it's not been very pretty for our reigning champion Milwaukee Bucks. They are currently 6-8 with in 11th place in the East, this new East, which is just dominating the league, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Led by the Bulls. They're 6-8. They've only won 3 of their last 7 games. So they're actually getting worse. So I think it's high time I bought these stocks. A large reason why they are where they are is because certain players of note have missed games. So they obviously have the star triumvirate of Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think Giannis has missed 1 game himself, but he's the only one that's been relatively healthy. So Chris Middleton's missed a bunch of games. Drew Holiday has missed a bunch of games as well.
DiVincenzo's still out as well.
DiVincenzo's still out. Brook Lopez has missed a bunch of games. And it's pretty much Giannis and the 15 to 11th man trying to hold it together out there. Drew's just come back, but he's rusty. He's had a busy summer as well. And they've been struggling. But I don't think it's going to last long. I think as soon as they get a couple more of their big players back, they are going to take off.
Yeah.
So I picked that stock. Someone said they wanted to pick that stock as well.
That was me. Yeah. It's a strong choice. I definitely see them picking up as soon as those guys get back. A little bit of like championship hangover, maybe too. I think when it comes time, that they're going to be able to turn it on. So not too worried.
At some point, J.R. Smith has to put on a shirt, right?
Exactly.
It's Lakers reference number 2.
But I also think the East is a little bit more competitive this season, so it's not entirely surprising that they. I'm kind of surprised they're 11th, but again, it's only going to go up from now on. Especially when you start playing against the Lakers, that's a guaranteed W these days.
It's reference number 3.
I mean, they might not get to the top of the East like they have been with the sort of the records that they've been putting out recently. But like I still predict them getting home court advantage in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would as well. Right? Yeah. So yeah, Bucks.
It's wise. I mean, it's a safe bet, isn't it? Like, it's not like you're buying it for cheap. Like, it's cheaper than it would be, but the Bucks are the Bucks. Like, it still trades quite high, doesn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like buying Apple stock.
I don't think Apple stock would fall this much, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
How low are they? Like, hang on. Oh, they are quite low.
Yeah. 11th in a 15-team conference.
I still think that you have former MVP, championship team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's good, like good buy. I can see why you're doing it.
PJ Tucker can't be worth this many wins.
No,
they're gonna bounce back. All right. So Tom, do you want to go next?
Sure. I was gonna go with the team, but I'll start with the play. I thought I'll buy. So Lonzo Ball is who I'm.
Mine quite high though, right? Because he's trading high right now.
I think he's the kind of the no one's talking about him really on the Bulls compared to the other two. The actual big three, which is those guys.
I thought you were talking about the other two balls because maybe one, not the other one.
Yeah, 2 balls. Anyway, on the Chicago Bulls, we've got one player. I think is surprising. I think Dave, you mentioned it the other day when you got onto the UK Bulls podcast. That he's defensively improved. Well, he's not improved. He's always been good on defense, but like he got bigger, but he still somehow manages to stay on his defensive task very well.
He's putting in the effort as well, right? I think he's probably a bit more motivated now.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Motivated, they're having fun playing together. His shooting form improved so much.
He's improved his shooting form, and it's surprisingly smooth. I mean, if you compare when he came into the league and what he looks like now, it's just day and night, So I would. I don't know. I think right now he's averaging I think about 13 a game. The stats are pretty similar to last season, right? It's not really improved. So with the Pelicans, he was averaging 14 and a half. Only played 55 games though, so he's yet to make an entire complete season without picking up an injury. So that would be probably his biggest challenge this year. His shooting averages, so field goal, he was 41.4 and he's 41.5, so still the same. It's improving season by season. Started in the league with 36%, now he's 41.5. Threes as well went up dramatically as well. He started at 13.5 in his first season with the Lakers, now it's 44.5, which is massive.
Radical.
His rebounding is down compared to how he started it. It's up from last season. Assists, sort of the same. It's below 5, which is the first time. steals, almost 2 steals a game. So that's pretty good. So again, they're showing this defense is still a thing. It's improved actually. And blocks is still about the same. It's just below 1. So he's all around.
So he's about the same as last.
No, yeah,
He
but
looks better though. He looks better.
He looks
red.
better.
He looks
He
good.
looks more comfortable. I think it's a better situation for him.
I think it's his
So
haircut.
It's a better situation for him because he's finally on the team. Well, he was on the Lakers, but like he's finally on the team where the rest of like his teammates in the organization are trusting him and they wanted him there. So that's kind of a difference. On the Pelicans, it was just you just got dropped there.
Yeah. I mean,
no other choice.
I don't know what's going on over there, but nobody really seems that happy, right? So
it's a bad situation over there.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer David Griffin's gonna last as the GM.
Yeah, I saw actually read an article today because Drew Holiday was there, right, a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lonzo was there.
Yeah.
If they have kept those 2 guys plus Zion, you have a really powerful, front court and back court there. They let Anthony Davis go. Fair enough, knows, like given that he was going to leave at some point, but you had so much like young talent. Put Brandon Ingram in the equation, and you have a solid team there. At least like good 4 starters. So that speaks badly about their management.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I don't know if I'll sell. I don't know if he'll crash and burn halfway through the season. I can't see that happening. I think he'll be steady the entire season. So, it's a safe bet for me. I think I'll keep that Lonzo ball stuck all the way through.
Oh,
Ain't selling.
It's a
Ain't
stash.
shorting.
Stash.
Oh yes,
It's a
stash that.
long-term purchase.
Yeah.
Cool. That's you, Mike.
Yeah.
Hit us with your first pick.
I'm gonna fuck up the format. How'd you like it? Sorry.
As you do.
This is why you were suspended last week.
So I'm diversifying early. I'm gonna go for three young guys, equally probably stash moves.
Jose's face. He doesn't approve.
How dare you?
3, just drop 3, just like that. Yeah.
So they're similar. The reason why I'm grouping them together is because it's similar. It's 3 rookies that I think were kind of overlooked somewhat coming into the draft. They were drafted quite highly, but nobody expected them to do much straight off the bat. So first one, Scottie Barnes. Basically, everybody thought that Jalen Suggs would be drafted at the 4 spot, and were quite surprised when Toronto picked who they picked. A lot of it goes back to what happened in the training camp thing with Suggs and Scottie Barnes, but. Yeah, he's come out. He's been really hot. He's almost like the perfect template for Toronto as well. He's an athletic wing, much like Pascal Siakam, much like OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
And Toronto have developed those guys really well. They're not in a going into the season, they weren't particularly in a strong spot. Like nobody really had much expectations for them. So getting a rookie out there and starting was pretty safe to do. And they have done with him, and he's absolutely smashed it. I think he's averaging 20 points per game now.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So that's one. Other one, Evan Mobley. People tagged him as being a defensive beast, and he absolutely has been. They didn't expect him to score much at all, and he's averaging 14 points per game. I think I was reading today that he's averaging, he's like leading the league in defensive shots stopped.
Oh.
I think something like that. It was one of those weird like defensive ratings, but he's actually like leading the league in it. And if you watch him, he can do it to anybody. Basically, he can guard fives, he can guard ones for a small amount of time. Been super impressed with him. I mean, people's compared him to Anthony Davis quite a bit. I think he's got maybe. Well, it depends where his emphasis is going to go, but I think he's maybe leaning more defensive than offensive. So that's my second one. And then the third one, because I'm greedy, is Franz Wagner over at Orlando. I can't remember where he was actually picked, but they picked up Jalen Suggs at 5, I think. And he was expected to be their top rookie. And Franz was like a nice to have sort of piece. And Franz has been the one that has been absolutely on fire. I think he's got a game high of 28 points. And he's just really quite a fun rookie to actually watch as well. Didn't have any buzz about him coming into the league, and is really looking like a strong piece that they can actually use for a successful team. So those are my 3 guys. They're all exciting.
And it's good to get a chance to actually talk about the rookies, because they have been, as we've said in the past, like really, really impressive to start. And those are 3 of the picks that, as you said, maybe we wouldn't have expected to be talking about them at this point in the season, but they've been excellent. Wagner in particular, like you said, the expectations weren't that high for him, but he's shown that he's an NBA player, knows what he's doing out there on the court, and does a bit of everything. Where they thought he would be a defensive liability, and actually he's held up on that end, and he's given them solid minutes. And it hasn't necessarily led to wins, with Suggs struggling as well, but he's been a bright spark for them for sure.
And I like, they're all in positions where they can get a lot of minutes. They're in sort of like rebuild sort of situations. And apart from Orlando, they're actually overachieving those teams at the moment with these guys playing quite a big part. So it's great to see.
I think I agree with, like, it's a good purchase of this stock from these 3 rookies. But generally this rookie class has been quite surprising. I obviously, as you know, I follow the Denver Nuggets, and Bones, their rookies, making it rain, man, from 3. And generally, we spoke earlier before we started recording about Chris Duarte as well. I'm not going to buy his stock, but he's doing really well, like 14 points a game. It's really good to see. It's refreshing to see a good rookie class, isn't it? We haven't seen one with this potential in a couple of years, I think. And it's just surprising when there was so much hype around Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham, and obviously Cade Cunningham has been injured, so that's kind of a bit. But he still performed whenever he played, except for his first game, I think, in which he didn't score, but he defended well, and he did pass the ball well. He performed. So I think it's promising, isn't it, to see such a rookie class? I think we're going to be talking about these guys in a couple of years as probably as stars. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Exciting times. Yes, it's that new crop. Like, I always find it interesting to see when the tide is going to change. Like, we had the old Kobe, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson class, and then it's like, okay, who are the next ones going to be? And then you have LeBron, Wade, Melo, Chris Bosh, and those guys come through, and then we have the Kevin Durant, Harden, Steph, etc., and they're at the peak of their powers, but they're about to just go over that peak. And like, they're on the edge of oblivion, about to just take a nosedive and have Anthony Davis come through and win 7 championships in a row. That's reference number 4 down as well. But the next class is creeping up there, and we're starting to see the Tatums, the Devin Bookers, the Donovan Mitchells sort of push for the top 10. Jokic, weirdly, Giannis is in that class. Yeah, he's like 26, isn't it? Luka, Trae Young's, Yeah.
But it's always cool to see. Jose.
All right, I'm actually
Yes.
going to surprise you on this one. I'm not going to pick who I told you I was going to.
Okay.
Maybe I'll buy some stock from later. He's nothing new in the league, but I'm still going to buy his stock. I believe this player, he's not traded too high. I don't think he ever traded really high.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be a key part for this contender to actually either win their conference or even win the championship. I think is going to be key in this organization.
Carmelo Anthony.
I'm talking about he traded really high for a long time. I'm talking about Patty Mills.
Hey, there's the Spurs link. We had to get in there somewhere.
I had to do it.
That's number one.
Hey, I didn't pick a Spurs player. I picked a former Spurs player.
You just pick someone else that plays in black.
Hey.
Crafty.
Southern Hemisphere, it's the same thing for me.
Go stick together.
I feel like he's my brother.
Go stick together.
It's like Tom said, everybody's in the north.
Exactly.
Everybody from here is from the north. I'm from
Definitely.
the south. Yeah, like my brother Patty Mills. So let's talk about Patty Mills, right? So he came from the Spurs. Everybody said, okay, everybody's going to the Nets now. Do the Nets really need this guy when they have Kyrie? Guess what? Kyrie's not playing. Yeah. Guess what? This guy has been to the finals and to the playoffs his entire career besides last year, the last 2 years, sorry. So this guy has championship experience, has playoff experience, and he's just reliable, man. I look at his stats. He's scoring 10 points a game, but in his best season, he scored 11. He's playing the same amount of minutes more than most of his career. And he just had a 20. Now. Yeah, and he just had a 29-point game 2 nights ago, scoring 9 out of 12 from the 3-point line, 75%. So exactly. So this is a guy that in the 2014-15 playoffs, where the Spurs didn't win, that's the next year, he scored every free throw he took in the playoffs. Every single free throw. So I'm talking about, someone that is just reliable. Yeah, and I believe he's going to play an important part in the Nets, either winning it all or winning a lot of games in the playoffs. So bringing his experience, he never traded too high. He's not trading high now, but he's going to sell when he has another one of these 29-point games in the playoffs.
When he raises that championship.
Yeah.
When he goes to Madison. And...
Tom, you're making that face because you're from the north.
I'm not from the north. I'm from you, yeah. No, I just talking about buying or selling. I'm not buying the Nets winning it. So.
Oh well.
Cool.
Somebody has to lose, right? Somebody has to lose.
Yeah, it'll be that.
The Knicks can lose every time, so don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. We're not
29 other teams have to lose, so
exactly.
Someone's gonna win it. Cool. All right, we are back around in the loop. The next stock I am going to trade is going to be Cole Anthony. Shouts to my Orlando Magic fans out there. I know you're out there.
Two.
Jeez. Yeah, 2 Orlando Magic references in the same podcast. It's Christmas for Florida. Florida man is very happy. But yeah, I've been excited and waiting to get my chance to talk about how Cole Anthony's been doing this season. It's only been 14 games, but he's averaging 20 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 5.6 assists, which I think is very good for someone who didn't really impress in his rookie season. It was a lot of high volume stuff. It was a lot of bad team, chucking up a lot of shots kind of stuff. But he's come in and improved in pretty much every single statistic this season. His minutes are up by 7 to 34 minutes per game. and he's taking 4 more shots per game, but he's also been more efficient with his shots. So his field goal percentage has gone up from 39% overall, basically 40% overall, up to 43.8. He's doubled the number of threes that he takes and improved his percentage from 33% to 39%. Right. So that's a huge increase in efficiency. He's taking slightly less 2-pointers, but his percentage has gone up by 4%. And that's led to his effective field goal percentage going up overall by 4% as well. He's shooting slightly better from the line, but he's getting to the line even more in this season with people struggling to get to the line. He's getting there 4 times a game, which is pretty good for a small guard, right? He's not Steph Curry. He's not James Harden, right? He's much smaller than those guys. So he's getting in there amongst the trees and getting fouls and helping the team that way. Assists are up by 2, and rebounds are up by 2. Assists are up 1.5. Steals are up. Turnovers are slightly up, but as I said, he's playing more minutes. That's expected. Overall, he's scoring 7 more points per game this season compared to last. He's just completely improved himself, and I guess I've kind of made his case for MIP. I'm not sure he'll win it just because of his profile is still low. But as I said, increase in volume, increase in efficiency. He's doing everything that he can do to try and help the Orlando Magic win. He's falling short on most nights, but he's doing some impressive stuff out there. Bye.
Yeah, it's like he has been impressive. It's just if it's sustainable now, right? Like it is a long season. But yeah, I mean, definitely question marks last year, and then this year it looks like he's ready to be like that team leader. That I really couldn't see it last year, so he's definitely been impressive.
Yeah, I think that the reason to buy is, his stock is because he's improved himself, right? Like it's like we had our awards episode a couple weeks ago where we were given like the empty stats man, and I think he's gonna be like, his team is not winning, right? They're not gonna win, but he's improving, so good for him, right? So here's to it, great future in another team. So yeah, definitely buy his stock now and hold on to it for the next 5 years, and you might win something from it.
Long term, gotta think long term.
Fair enough.
He's Bitcoin. Tom.
Who did I say I was going with? Oh yeah, the number 1 team in the NBA. Expensive stock right now.
Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors. But
spending on your dollar there.
I'm buying 2 things: the Warriors and Lonzo Ball. That's it. Like, I'm not spending cash like Mike's doing.
Mate, those are both expensive shares you're buying there.
But I've got expensive tastes. Look at that sign. See that?
It's proven.
That's a £2,500 LED LCD sign.
Diamond encrusted.
Diamond encrusted. You can't see the gold. You think that's reflection from the light bulb? That's just gold. Shining.
Black quartz.
Maybe 2,000 pesos.
Delivered by Mark Zuckerberg himself.
In Bezos' spaceship.
He came to my house and went, look, Facebook is done. It's game over. So I'm giving you this sign. This is yours now. Anyway, I've got money to burn tonight. So I'm getting on the Warriors, who are currently standing at the top of the NBA with 10-2 are they? No, 11-2. And they're playing the bad team from New York tonight. They're playing the Nets. If you listen to this later, they would have whooped their ass and moved on to 12-2. That feels good,
Yeah, they look really good again.
They look really good. So if you look at their roster, they've if I can get it up myself, that's what she said. So right now playing without Klay Thompson, who is scheduled to come back around Christmas, as far as I've heard. and the former rookie of former year, James Wiseman.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say former rookie. Yeah. Every second year player is a former rookie.
Yeah, almost. I was going to say almost rookie of the year, Wiseman. But yes, those two are missing. So that once they come back, that should be it. Again, getting them to another gear, which would be scary. The surprising note is Andrew Wiggins having a awesome, what's the word I'm looking for?
Season.
Aggressive, not aggressive season. As in, he's attacking the basket. Like you see those 2 dunks on Cat the other day.
Yeah.
Revenge.
Revenge, but it was almost one of those moments like, where does that come from? Or where were you hiding this? What's going on? I think his averages, I just need to look it up, but he's averaging what this year? 18 points a game, which is what his career average is, 19 and a half, but that's more a visual look of Wiggins, that his attitude is different. He looks more locked in this year. And I think he's found his way in the team. He knows what he needs to do and he knows what he's meant to bring. I mean, the Warriors owners just came out and say it's the best trade we've done in the last couple of years. We've won that trade against the Wolves. Well, like, yeah, of course you did. So yeah.
Did they get a pick with him or something?
Maybe.
Or it wasn't just a straight up, was it?
Maybe they did.
Oh, what? D'Angelo Russell?
Yeah, was Zillow, right? Yeah.
Anyway,
they must have gotten something from something else.
If he can like consistently average like around 18, that is exactly what they need. It's like going back into like that Harrison Barnes sort of role.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the guy, the Joe, is it Joe Lacobe? Whatever his name is.
Joe Lacobe.
So that is the greatest trade they've ever done.
That guy says some weird stuff, man. They won a championship, and he was like, Steph's still like the number 1 player on this team, but like we do like Durant at the championship parade. It was like, what? Why are you saying these words? Like, just stop
talking.
Shut your face off.
Other reasons, I mean, Steph Curry is back to playing the way he used to. I think he's playing even better than his MVP season. Like, it's very impressive to see.
It's really good, isn't it?
And Draymond Green, if you go to NBA.com, who's number 1 in the defensive player ladder? It's Draymond Green at the moment.
Rightfully so.
They've got the right pieces back into place. I mean, the last season was just injuries and a weird one for them. Everything went wrong. I think if I remember well, they started off well in the season last year.
No, they started off really badly.
They started well. They ended really well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of downs the entire season. And they've got a couple of players that are coming through as well. Jordan Poole had an amazing preseason.
Preseason MVP, yeah. But he's carried on during the season.
Yeah, he's very well.
He's still scoring and he's still very giving us impressive moves.
Peyton.
And then Peyton, yeah, that's the second one I was about to mention. Like he's defensively a beast. like man on man is just you don't want him on your back. And he can jump. Like the dude had a dunk the other day. I was like, oof. Took me back to my young years when I could raise it up.
Yeah. On a few
when you could stay awake and watch the games.
Until 10, yeah. Well, you give me names some obscure players on the Spurs. Like what do you want me to do? No, those guys. Nobody does. I don't even think Popovich knows who's coaching. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Warriors go buy now.
Yeah.
Now that is buying Apple stock.
It is, yes,
indeed.
Top of the league, mate. Top of the league. Top of the table. Top of the table. So we circle back around. Are we gonna we're gonna leapfrog you, Mike. Have you got more to say?
Ooh.
Are we staying buying?
Yeah, we're gonna stick to buying. Should we come back to you for the?
No,
for the
I've
poo-poo
got one.
platter?
I can go.
He's
for
buying more guys.
Yeah, more
This
guys.
guy. It's rich.
Yeah,
Just bought a cat.
Rich.
This is buying with your heart and maybe not your head. The homer pick for me.
Benjamin.
He's coming back, guys.
Are you actually?
Number
You're not.
25.
Oh,
Number 25.
I mean, it couldn't get any lower, right? But no, Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
I
Yes.
think he's probably still quite under the radar for a lot of people.
Yep.
And at the moment he's getting his chance to start. There's a lot of injuries over at the Philadelphia 76ers.
It's because of injuries. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's what I just said. All right.
It's not replacing anyone controversial at all. Nope.
Oh no. Well, the thing was that like the start of the season, I don't think he did start. I might be wrong. But he's getting extended minutes either way at the moment. Danny Green is out. Tobias Harris has been out. He's back in now.
Yeah.
Embiid is out with Corona. Which is not good. But it's meant that he's getting an extra run in, and he's with more time, he just gets more points essentially. And yeah, I think he's one of those energy guys. He's like a bit of a spark plug player. That's just good to have around. So I think he's going to do quite well, and I hope that he kind of makes that sort of starting spot even when everybody does come back fully healthy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's good, and he showed flashes in the past that he could be a productive player. It's just good to see him make the most of those extra minutes. And who knows, maybe he'll be the starting point guard of the future. Hail the process.
See,
Cool. Jose.
I'm gonna buy a team actually, because I have billions in the bank, so I'm just gonna buy a team. I'm buying stock on the Caps. I never thought I would say this, at least not in recent years. But I look at the Caps. I see them on the standings. They're 9-6. They're 5th right now. And these guys, they're beating teams that they shouldn't be beating, right? They beat the Pacers, fine. Okay.
They should have beat the Knicks. That was given.
Well, yeah, I mean, jokes aside, they shouldn't lose against the Knicks, right?
No way.
They beat the Clippers.
Saltiness is like I'm having a podcast with Salt B, like salt. Look at the salt being spread there.
Like they beat the Hornets, they beat the Blazers, the Raptors, the Celtics, who have arguably a better team. And then you look at their roster, and it's nothing super special, right? So sure, Colin Sexton, he hasn't played every game, but he's obviously exciting. Jared Allen, great defense, still scoring 14 points at the minute. Lauri Markkanen, 13 points a game, only played 8 games though. But then you have a couple of players on the bench, like Cedi Osman, who's kind of just a reliable guy, shuts up and does his work. And Ricky Rubio, who's obviously playing really well and changes the team when he plays because of his court vision and his basketball IQ. And I think, again, he's underrated. But then you have, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. Again, I'm buying it because they're beating teams that they shouldn't be beating, and I don't expect to make millions out of this stock, right? But for the Caps to have right now a 600 record is just more than they expected, than anybody expected from them, and I think that they can keep it up in the East, because you look at very regular teams right now, like the Celtics. The Knicks, who are not winning the games that they should be winning. We talked about the Bucks not being super regular. The Sixers are missing their key players, so they're actually 8-6 right now. The Hornets, even though they've improved so much, they're not there yet. So, I think that it can be a good year for them. I don't know if they're going to make it to the playoffs, but they're not going to be dead last like they were last year. So that's already an improvement. So I think, it's a safe bet, to be honest. Again, not to make millions, but I just want a new pair of shoes, So I think that should be enough.
Yeah.
My only concern with them is that you're buying high. I don't know if they're going to be able to.
How high are they though? Like it's just not. It can be really high after being like nothing.
Right. Okay. So that's what
it's like expensive for what the Cavs are, but compared to other teams, it's still quite low.
Yeah. What I like about them is I think they're doing it with defense. Like they've had like a number of games of keeping their opposition under 100.
Yeah.
Which is a really good mark in today's NBA that you're doing something right.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah. They were doing it really weirdly as well because they were starting Markin and Mobley and Jarrett Allen, which is 3 players over 9, 10.
Yeah.
And
teams
don't
got
do that.
3 point guards as well. Their roster makes no sense.
Yeah, it's wild. Just no wings. Point guards and centers, baby. Like the 50s.
That's all you need.
Yeah, so it is impressive. My only concern with them is that they have gotten some injuries. So Jarrett Allen's out for a little bit. Colin Sexton's out for a few months, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if they can maintain. That does mean more Ricky Rubio and more minutes for Mobley to perform. I think he struggled at center in his first game, so it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts. But yeah, they've been good. And there's one of the Athletic NBA show podcasts. The host did a statistical analysis of surprise teams. Every year, there's a team that wins X number of games higher than their than what they're expected in Vegas, basically. And he analyzed all the teams in the league and found that there's certain criteria that the surprise team always meets. And the Cavs were the only team that met all of that criteria.
Oh, wow.
So they statistically, anyway, make out as being the surprise team of the season. So it could be a very good pickup, Jose. Or you could say that you watch the podcast or listen to the podcast, and because of that, you pick them, in which case it's insider trading, an illegal tip, and we're going to have to take all of your assets from you. So we already own your face and hands. We're going to take the arms. Shoulders and your jump shot. I need that jump shot.
Silky.
Take the turnaround, please.
Take the fader. So the other thing we wanted to do is pick some stocks that we don't want to go near those. So those are no. We need to get the garlic for the vampires. We need to keep them away. So we've gone out and also picked some stocks that we want to avoid. So if I can find my list, picked. Oh, the suspense.
Killing me.
We talk a lot of trash, don't we? I decided I'm just gonna do both at the same time. I think we can all do that. So I decided I'm gonna stay away from the Mavs, who also happen to be on the same podcast, the team most likely to disappoint. The Mavs, Coach Jason Kidd so far hasn't proved to be an upgrade over Rick Carlisle, to put it generously.
Shock.
When will he ever be an upgrade from Rick Carlisle?
I think they're middle of the pack on offense and defense, having been one of the best offensive teams of all time a couple of years ago and a very good offensive team last year. It doesn't look great. They're running a lot of post-ups for Porzingis to get him involved, and then he got injured. I think he's back now.
He's back, yeah.
He scored 34 against the Nuggets.
Ooh, kill him. That's all Jason Kidd. You heard the slander. So that is one thing Kidd has done, got him more involved in the offense, and that's something that Porzingis was complaining about last year. So that is a positive. Their record is actually decent, but I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think they're going to slide down the standings a little bit, and some of the teams that haven't started as well, like the Lakers, that's 6, are going to overtake them. So I'm going to dodge that stock. And my other one is Karl Anthony Towns. I tweeted underneath a post by the Timberwolves UK, shout out to them, of Towns walking away from an offensive possession while Anthony Edwards is dribbling and going at his man one-on-one. I checked the shot clock and I was like, maybe it's late in the clock, and he's just like, let me get a head start, get back on defense. There was 10 seconds on the clock. If not 11 or 12.
He's showing you how defensive minded he is. He's already running back on defense. Just
wow. That's bad.
Yeah.
Great teammate.
So Anthony Edwards is dribbling at his man one-on-one at the 3-point line. He does actually throw up the shot and miss. But Towns was already, you could tell the body language was such that he was upset that he was taking another shot and not getting involved. Maybe with the whole team, or worst case himself. So I just don't think he's long for Minnesota. And I don't think this Towns-Edwards partnership is going to work.
But it's funny you mentioned him, because I was thinking about it the other day when I was thinking, when is there a future for him with the Wolves? Like, how, it's the same thing that I keep saying. It's like, how long do you keep running the same players, the same team, and not getting any results? Like, they've got alternatives to him now. Edwards, they've got a bunch of players. Russell's there. Yeah, I know they're best friends, but that doesn't count for much, to be honest. But like, when are the Wolves going to ever pull the trigger on that deal and get somebody like a bunch of maybe younger guys or somebody else who's confirmed in there, and trying to build around that, build around Edwards, maybe get a lot, some more players for the bench, right? To have a deeper roster, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like the future for Cat is now. Like,
exactly. Like, how many more years has he
got? These are his future days that we spoke about 2 or 3 years ago. So he should be producing now, man. Anthony Edwards, he's the future, right? So and he's showing a lot of promise. So just if I were the Wolves, like, you've been betting all your money on this guy for like 5-6 years now,
and it would be hardly surprising to me that he would now start realizing that maybe they moved on from him as like the franchise player, and the guy that was supposed to bring them back to some sort of glory, I guess. Yeah. And now they've got Edwards, who is actually more NBA, today's NBA ready, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Was like
that's just a shitty attitude to me. Like, this is the first time that he's had a guy with the potential to be like on his level. He should be energized by that. He should be like gassing that guy up to go and do something. Like,
you have 2 reactions. Like, either you go, like, I want to be the star somewhere else, or you'd be like, okay, let me evolve in my game and evolve my situation. He's been the star.
He was a star for 2 years, man. After that, he was nothing.
Well, he was a star, but then I think the thing of him being voted by other GMs as the cornerstone of everyone's franchise, if you had to start, I think that hurt him a lot. Like, it's anyway. Yeah, I think it's something for them to move, start, sell.
Agree.
Tom, what are you,
so
what are you dodging?
I'm dodging Harden.
No. You?
No, I'm kidding. I don't care.
It's on
about him.
brand.
You're dodging
Yeah.
him, or he's Euro stepping you?
He's always stopping me whilst traveling and committing an offensive foul. So, and they're balling. So I don't care. No, I'm not going to mention him.
I already did.
No, I already have, but I don't care. I think I want to give a complete miss to the Pistons, because they had a bunch of young players. You could think they'd be showing a little something, but it's just tragic. Like I caught a bunch of stuff there. I can't see that going anywhere. Even what's his face, Cunningham, like he started ice cold. Yeah, okay, it's the first few games in the NBA, so he can only get better from there. So that's fine. But still, I don't understand what they're trying to do there. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand their roster. It seems like they'll be, staying down at the bottom of the Eastern Conference for the next few more years. Still, like I can't see how they're going to turn that boat around.
Yeah,
it's bleak if you're there.
Yeah, it will be a while till they have the talent to break free. But I do think Cunningham has changed things there a little bit. They have won a couple of games with him.
Sure.
With him back in the roster.
But they beat who? They beat. Hang on, which is there? They beat the Rockets. Who hasn't?
Same.
The Raptors. Okay.
See?
Better than them, maybe. And the Magic, who are on the same level.
That's 3 more wins than they had without Cunningham. Just saying. Just saying, he's a culture changer.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I think they've started to make some interesting moves and started to put some decent like foundations there. But yeah, nothing's happening quick.
Far from it. Yeah, they're far from making real progress.
Yeah.
So.
Mike.
I'm doing the opposite of that.
You're buying the Pistons.
No, I am selling on the Wizards, top of the East right now.
Oh.
I don't believe it's gonna stay there. I don't think they're gonna stay like that. I think they're better than what I had them as going into the season, but I think it's a little bit of fool's gold, a bit of a early season success that's boosting them up. And as Tom was saying, it's a competitive East. It's all pretty tight around there, so I see them dropping as the season progresses.
Hachimura is coming back.
And they've also only played against teams in the East except for one game. So yeah, they're going down.
Wait, have they beaten the Lakers yet?
Not yet. They will though.
So that's a couple of more
But they will.
They will. I'm sure they will.
Trip.
But like they haven't played anybody in the West, so you can't really judge. You can't judge. Yeah, you can't judge their season yet, right? So 10-3 on the East only. Yeah, anybody can do that, man. But play the West, right?
The slander.
But isn't the East the better conference right now?
This season, yeah, it is. Where's the talent? Where's the talent, Dave? It's on the East.
They're all winning.
The talent's in the East.
No, good face from Jose there.
Don't see it, man.
Okay. All right. So you're selling on them. I do think a cheeky buy would be Bradley Beal. He's shooting the ball horribly right now, and I think he can only improve. So I don't know, Mike. If he starts getting better, then who knows where he can take them.
I mean, cool. Prove me wrong. I'd love to see it, but I don't think their current projection is sustainable.
Fair judgment. That brings us to Jose Garcia Vidal.
It's something that I think that you will agree with me, and we spoke about this at the beginning of the season. It's Blazers. Like I'm staying away from this team. 7-8 right now,
Mm.
which is not too bad, but considering that the Lakers are 8-7, you know,
That's 8.
and gosh, and the Lakers have lost against everybody.
Of course, including the London Lions. London Lions beat the Lakers the other
The
day.
Lions with the
In Europe.
Lakers.
Hey, they're undefeated in the.
That's what I'm saying. In Europe, they beat the Lakers as well.
The Europe Cup.
Yeah.
Like if you see, like, obviously Dame is injured right now. But if you see the stats of the other players, right, like you would expect CJ McCollum to take over the scoring. And against the Nuggets the other day, for example, they only scored 95 points. Nuggets scored 124. And you have CJ playing 30 minutes and scoring 21 points.
Well, that's not...
with two assists. So if your top player or your second top player is scoring 21 points and you want to win, you need at least another 4 players to score 20 plus. And they don't have that. They don't have the offensive power or defensive will to win games. So this is a team that is going down. Whatever they're worth now, they're going to be worth less at the end of this season. It's very likely that Dame requests trade either mid-season or at the end of the season.
What I keep saying every season on Blazers, like, how long do you need to keep running the same team?
Blow it up.
No, blow it up again.
Yeah.
Like
We've been
3 years
saying
running. Blow
We've
it
said
up.
this for a long time.
Blow it up.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Since we started this podcast.
Since we started day one.
To blow it up.
Every season.
Yeah.
And they've been to the Western Conference Finals in that time.
I can't believe it, man.
Still, don't matter. Have they won it all? No, blow it up.
Yeah. It's like, what? There's no confidence in them at all.
No, but this is always the risk with people that hang on too long.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Lillard is just dropping in value now. Like the return that they're going to get for him is going to be Ben Simmons, and I'm going to have.
I would argue that the only thing that I would buy from that team, if I had to buy a team, would be Dame, because I think everything else dropped on value. Even players like, and we spoke about this, I think I remember about this last year, like CJ. 3 years ago would have been such a valuable player to trade for, right?
Yeah.
Right now, he's like, I don't want to. No, he will be a 6th man on any other team, you know?
Not the Lakers, be a starter. He's too young.
Big
Too young for the Lakers.
10! You probably have slush now if you're playing the Lakers.
I mean,
you're welcome.
They have Larry Nance playing 20 minutes and scoring 5
Former
points.
Laker.
With 2 rebounds.
Larry Nance.
You want to get out of that team, man.
It's so sad. Portland is like one of my, I think it's everyone's like sort of a darling team. Like everybody wants them to do well, but it's just so weird.
Shame.
Like again, like you said, like you keep running the same group. Eventually, like even though you've got talent on the court, like mentally you need something new after a while.
Yeah.
Of course you have.
There wasn't ambition there from the
and there's no ambition. Like I think one prerequisite from Dame was just like, can you bring some new bodies in there? Like bring some new guys, talented guys.
They get there? No,
nothing. So I think the next
Nance.
natural
Larry Nance.
Bring me talent.
Last year they got him Cantor. Same player.
It's like taking your girlfriend out and she's like, oh my God, like take me somewhere nice tonight. I want to eat. Like you bring her to KFC. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Nando's.
Nando's would be an improvement from KFC.
Nando's is good. It's all right.
Chicken cottage. That's what Blazers are.
It's sad though. It's sad. They need. I think the natural evolution for them is they will be trading Dame. I think at some point
they're going down. They're gonna be a rebuilding team. They're the next Detroit Pistons.
As much as makes me sad, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they definitely held on too long with to that core.
Try to tell him, Dave.
Tell him.
You tell them, Dave.
Add them. Twitter. Let's go.
They should trade CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons.
That would be interesting.
CJ and some stuff like Dame.
All right.
The contracts match up, man. Contracts match up. It's fine. It's totally fine. And then, just pair Simmons with Westbrook, and the team's just gonna go woo.
Sure.
Just trade Dame for Westbrook. He averages a triple-double. Don't know if you guys know.
Almost a quadruple double with the turnovers.
Highest career turnover rate of any player ever. And even if he didn't turn the ball over again, he would still be number one at the end of the season.
I'm glad I got to
Russell
experience the Westbrook experience the other day.
Marvelous.
It actually put me in a basketball coma to the point I didn't actually knew who the Lakers were playing that night. So I was like,
That's why.
That's why I didn't realize it was the Spurs on the other. I was like,
all right. So shall we conclude, fellas? Are we done here?
We should.
Sure.
All right. Thank you for listening. You can catch us on socials at Grit and Grime Pod everywhere. Like, share, subscribe, rate, review. Do all those good things. And on top of that, good old-fashioned word of mouth is great. Shouts to Jimmy from the Chicago Bulls pod who had me on this week. You can catch me over there with him. Fun little interview on the UK Chicago Bulls YouTube page. And I think that is all, fellas. Unless you got any pluggy plugs to pluggy plug. Any plugs? Plugs out there? No?
Doing nothing.
Like my computer.
How is it doing?
Battery.
Oh my God, it's magical.
Okay. So
I don't need plugs because I use batteries.
Wow, Tom. It's all right. I'll cut that. Don't worry.
Edit that out.
Done. Well,
I won't let you
the
go out
stock
like
exchange. Ding, ding.
Really? Oh.
Ring the bell. Bing bong.
Bing, bing bong. Only team in New York.
So from me, David Sagoe, from Thomas Arnal.
Keep it blue and orange.
Oh God. Don't start saying that, everybody. From Michael Downey.
Good night.
And from Jose Garcia Vidal.
Good night, listeners.
Especially
Hi,
you.
Richard from
Especially
Glasgow.
You know
Bye,
who you are.
Rich.
Bye, Richard. Rich, this one's for you.
Old Dickie McJock.
Yeah, old enough to play on the Lakers. Old enough to play on the Lakers.